Welcome back to BVarsity Live. We've had a great show today. We had BHS Drillers boys soccer, Frontier Titans girls soccer, both league champions that are not really going to be crowned tonight, but they're finishing up their seasons tonight, having already clinched those league titles. I'll be out at McFarland for the SSL Wrestling tonight. You're going to be working on a story you've kind of had in the frying pan for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to get this thing finally done. We had 5 sophomore boys basketball players come in to the studio almost 2 weeks ago. Anais Medrano from Liberty. We had Austin Contreras from West. As you can see, here's the final player for Anais Medrano in the MLK Showcase for Liberty, where he finally gets the shot in with 12 seconds left. Great move here by Medrano, one-on-one, and then he takes it to his right.
Got a screen there.
Got a nice screen, comes in through. Beautiful shot there. And then we had also Alex Check from Centennial, and then the 2 big guys, Justin McCall and Jordan Roberts. Chris, if you want to show Roberts' final shot here for Ridgeview. So we had those 5 guys that I looked at as a great starting 5 of sophomores here in town.
They're just babies. They're just sophomores.
They really are, and it's kind of a story that you did, I believe, 6 years ago with the sophomore class, and one of them being
might have even been 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Jordan Burris was one who went to a D2 Elite 8 and eventually played in the D League for a little while.
So you look at Croney right here, Sheldon Croney, who they beat West last night, a game that you were at that we had coverage of in today's edition of the Californian. But here's Roberts, who takes the isolation play, goes up with his left hand, brings it back to his right, and that's a buzzer beater against Fresno Central to win that game at the MLK Showcase.
That was against Roosevelt, right? Or
no, that was against.
I thought Liberty played.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. That was against Roosevelt. Okay. So those are teams that they could possibly see.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. And
so that story will come out on Sunday.
Yes.
So check out Sunday's California. Check out Bakersfield.com on Sunday. And that's a great story. Jordan Roberts got stupid bounce. I mean, that guy, he can jump out of the gym. Now, I saw Ridgeview last night beating West. Ridgeview kind of in line for that number 1 seed in Division II. But, and this is a pretty big but, Isaiah Martin's status up in the air. He didn't play last night. He wasn't on the bench. He wasn't in the gym that I could see. And asked Michael Martin, who's his uncle and also the Ridgeview head coach, about it after the game. He said, no comment, can't talk about it. I was told I can't talk about it. So I don't know what the situation there. I don't know if it's an eligibility thing. I don't know if it's a discipline thing.
Who
knows? Point is, you'd think if it was just an injury, he would have been in the gym, A, and B, Michael would have said something. So we're thinking it's something, other than injury, but we're just speculating at this point. So that's a big question mark with Ridgeview.
And right now, Mission Oak, 1-loss team this season.
That's true. Mission Oak probably the 1 seed.
Yeah. There's no possibility. They're going to be the 1 seed. They're going to win league tonight or next week. They have no real competition in league.
So Ridgeview will probably be the 2 seed.
Yeah, because Porterville's not beating them. Monache probably won't beat them. And then you look at Tulare West, Tulare Union, Delano. I don't see Mission.
But you know what?
Let's go ahead and go to the rankings.
In basketball, the 1 or the 2 seed really doesn't matter because you're at home until Selland either way.
Yep.
You might have to face a slightly tougher team in the semis. Anyway, these are your boys basketball rankings.
And these will change, obviously. These are the boys basketball rankings that came out on Tuesday. Stockdale will move up after beating Liberty by 60-50 on Tuesday. So Tehachapi still playing well. They're looking for that. They're now in a battle with West for that 2nd spot now in the SYL. Fresno Sunnyside, and then there's West. And with that loss, I don't know if that loss to Ridgeview is really going to drop them in the rankings.
We should say, despite not having Isaiah Martin, Ridgeview did just win at West, so it's not like they're slouches.
Exactly.
Anyway, lots of depth on that team.
Lemoore, Fresno Bowler, Clovis East, Ridgeview there at 12, and then Clovis North. You see a couple track teams there. I mean, that league is basically too heavy with Clovis West and Central, and then with Clovis North and Clovis East right there at the 4-4, 4-5, 3-5. They play well. Let's move on to 10 through 11. Roosevelt, which is a team that lost to Ridgeview, but they're playing well. Fresno's still in there, and I believe that they're still undefeated in their league. And then Fresno Central, which was crazy hot after losing to Liberty in the MLK, went 5-0 before losing to Clovis West last week.
And they look like they may be on track to split the track league title.
Yep, exactly. And
top 5.
Liberty's still there. And then in the top 5, Edison is still playing well. Like we said, Mission Oak is most likely the number 1 seed, probably 99.9% sure they're the 1 seed in D2. Centennial, that right there is going to be so interesting to see how they seed. If Centennial goes 10-0 in league, and then Clovis West has a 1 loss in the track, who do you put as the 1 seed in D1?
Absolutely.
And then obviously Emmanuel is not going to they're not going to lose again in league, and then
they won't lose again in the section.
No,
if
they won't.
If all goes according to plan. Colin Slater, by the way, last night, I don't know if you saw this, 52 points against Selma. They won 96-66.
You got to be kidding me!
So
right?
that's how good that Emmanuel team is, and they
Yep.
beat Centennial by 3. So anyway, let's talk
go to
real
the
quick
girls.
D1 seeding
Okay.
for boys, real quick. And I was talking to AJ Sharon, the Liberty coach last night, friend of BVarsity. Pretty obvious right now that the top 3 teams in some order in D1 are going to be Clovis West, Centennial, and Edison.
Yes.
That's unless one of those teams kind of spits the bit and loses a couple of games here in their last 3. Centennial, they still got to play BHS and Liberty, but we think those are the top 3 teams. Centennial beat Edison in a foundation game, but that could still factor into coaches' rankings, which is what the committee uses to seed these teams. After that, it gets really complicated. You have Liberty, you have Central, you have Bullard. We think those 3, maybe 4, 5, 6.
Clovis
Let's roll
North.
some video of Liberty, Chris.
Yeah.
Liberty, Central, and Bullard 4, 5, 6 in some order. Sharon said he thought they could get the 4 seed. He's not sure they're actually better than those teams, but the resume is better. And then you have teams like Clovis East. They came down here and won the North High tournament, beating Stockdale in the process. You have teams like Clovis North. You have teams like
well, we're looking at one of them right now that if
BHS,
Bakersfield wins out the next 3 games,
what if
they're in
Stockdale
there.
should win out and
Yeah.
they get to 6-4 in the SWL with a win over Clovis North as well? Could they be in that mix for like a 6 or a 7 seed? And the point is that AJ and I came to last night. It doesn't really matter. These teams, there's 7 or 8 teams that are so evenly matched in this section right now. The quarterfinals are going to be tons of fun. Whoever gets hot is probably going to win the section title. Could be anybody. It really seems like a good opportunity for the first Kern County team to get the Selland Arena in D1.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it seems like a good opportunity. Let's roll ahead to the girls' rankings and speed through those while we have a couple of minutes.
Liberty Tehachapi, I mean, very little change from 10 to 20 because they're all playing their league opponents. They're not losing their league opponents, so there's not many changes going on. Tehachapi and Liberty, Liberty's probably going to have the 3 seed. Let's go and move into the 15. Here we have Madera, Toll House, Sierra, Redwood, Yosemite, and then there's Ridgeview at 11. And they lost to Independence, so that dropped them out of the top 10. Move on. There's Bullard. Orosi's dropping down, not because they're losing, but everybody else ahead of them.
2 teams playing real well in Hanford and Independence,
Yep,
7 and 8.
very much so. And then Clovis at number 6. They lost to Clovis North, so they flip-flopped in the rankings. Fresno Edison, and there's Centennial at number 3. I still consider them the 3 seed. Some player, some guys up north don't believe that, but from what I've seen out of them, and when they play Garces, I still have Garces number 1 and Clovis West number 2.
And Garces, Clovis West, that's the argument we had before. We have some video of Garces girls as well. Here we go against Centennial. This is from Tuesday night. Really physical, chippy game. 2 teams that are really developing a nice rivalry in the SWIL.
But as you can see, a lot of good long-range shots. If Kayla Scott, her little sister Jasmine Scott, if those
Rihanna
players,
Dugan, I would posit that if this team is shooting well from the outside, Garces I'm talking about, there is not a team in the section that can beat them. There are not very many teams in the state that can beat them when they're firing from the outside.
And nobody else has a player as dominant inside like CJ.
And that's exactly why.
Yep.
If you don't put 2 defenders on CJ West and 2 pretty good defenders,
She
she's
scores
gonna kill
40
you.
a night.
Yeah. And if you do, you're leaving shooters open from the outside, and you just sort of have to hope they miss. And that's unless you have a CJ West caliber athlete to guard her one-on-one. And I can count on one hand the number of teams in the state that have that.
Yep.
You're going to be in some trouble if they are hitting their outside shots. So lots of excitement to come. We had thanks to BHS Boys Soccer, Frontier Girls Soccer for being with us. Soccer seeding's coming out Saturday, playoffs next week. Basketball regular season ends next week, and wrestling postseason has already started.
Yep.
Trevor Horn, I'm Zach Ewing. This has been BVarsity Live. Thanks to our producer, Chris McCullough, and we will catch you next Thursday, 2 p.m., everybody.
Bye, Giselle. Bye, Zadok.